So if you're a complete beginner to Facebook ads, this will be the only Facebook ads tutorial you'll ever need to watch. So I'm going to share everything that I've spent thousands on courses on and hundreds of thousands of my own money and millions in clients' money to learn this stuff. I'm going to share it with you for free. So we're going to jump straight in. So we're on the Mac now, and the first thing I just wanted to say is that, there's a lot of crap out there about Facebook. A lot of it's not true. And to be honest, everyone's like, oh, I've got this new tactic, this new strategy. But the thing is with Facebook, there's not one way to do anything at all. And the only way I feel like the only way to actually really learn about Facebook ads is by doing it. But luckily, I've spent hundreds of thousands of my own personal money on Facebook ads, and I've spent millions as well for clients. And I'm going to share that all with you today and hopefully give you an amazing idea as a complete beginner how you can start making money using Facebook ads and eventually become an expert in them. So first off, you're going to want to make your ad account. So all you need to do is type it on Google, make Facebook ad account, and I've already just typed that in before, so I'm going to click this tab and it's going to come up with something like this. And then what it's going to ask you to do as well is going to create a Facebook page and an ad account, and once you've done that, it's going to take you to a dashboard like this. So once you're in the dashboard, it can look very confusing at first, but I'm going to break it all down for you and you'll have, an amazing idea of what to do. But with Facebook, the initial sort of thing you're going to have to learn how to do is actually create a campaign. So how do you do this? So you do this by pressing this big green button here that says create. And then what it's going to do, it's going to present you with different campaign objectives. And essentially this depends on what you're actually trying to do with the Facebook ads. So for example, if you were an e-commerce website and trying to get more sales, then you would select this one. Or say for example, you've got an app on the App Store you want to promote, then you might use this one. Or say you're a local business like a solar company or something like that, and you just want to generate some leads, you would use this one. And then engagement, I don't really recommend using the awareness and engagement ones, but what you would use this for example, it might be getting your page likes up, so you could run a cheap page likes campaign to, poorer countries, and this will allow you to get a cheap page likes. Although they're not going to be very good customers, it's going to give you a little bit of social proof. That's the only thing I can really think you would use that for, and I have used that for. And again, with awareness, I really don't like to pay for anything like likes or anything vanity metrics like that. They should come as a secondary to actually getting a sale. And then traffic, so I do actually use this one all the time. So this, for example, this is when you can't really track the end goal of it. So say for example, one of my businesses, I use the lead is a WhatsApp message. So with this, it's best to use the traffic one so I can get cheap traffic to the website. And I can't really track the back end of how many WhatsApp messages there is because it's encrypted WhatsApp, so they don't have that function yet. But that's what you'd possibly use that for. But for now today, what I'm going to do a leads one. So I'm going to show you how to generate leads, because I assume that a lot of you out there, you might be trying to start your own SMA or social media marketing agency or something like that. And a lot of the time, all you're going to need to do is just generate leads to businesses. So I'm going to go with that one today. And usually you will get a thing that comes up that says, create a tailored campaign or create a manual campaign. But obviously this is a fresh ad account, but I've already clicked make a campaign before for the first time. So that option's not going to come up for me. But if that comes up for you, then you're going to want to press manual campaign. And then the first thing you're going to do, and it might not seem very important right now, but it's definitely important down the line, is name your campaign. So this helps you keep the ad account nice and neat and tidy, so you know exactly which is which. We're just going to call this solar leads. And then for the first page, that's pretty much it. That's all you need to do. So you're just going to go ahead and press next at the bottom. And then your second part, so the first part is where you pick the objective, and that's called the campaign. And then you have the ad set. So this is where you do your targeting, and you choose where it's going to be shown, whether it's going to be shown on Facebook, whether it's going to be shown on Instagram, things like that. And then the ad is the actual ad. So that's where the picture is, the ad copy. That's where you put that. But for now, we're going to do the ad set. So we're going to call this, broad 18 to 65-year-olds. And then what you're going to do here, so you can pick different lead objectives. So say if you wanted to generate leads on your website, you'd choose this. Or, if you wanted to generate them on Instagram Messenger, you can choose these. But for now, we're going to do an instant form. And then you will need to accept these terms, which I've already done. And then you don't need to put anything for these. I wouldn't, as a beginner, I wouldn't really use them. And then obviously you've got your budget, so whatever your budget's at. And what I'd recommend in terms of, working out how much you need in budget, say for example, your costs of one sale was £50, then I would spend at least £50 a day. However, it depends what you're doing. If you're trying to generate leads, I would just look at what makes it profitable for you, and then reverse engineer it backwards for there. And then your audience. So this, if you just press edit here, you can hover over that, and you can select which countries you want to target. Say if you want to target the United States as well. And then Facebook's got very good now, and then it does a lot of this for you, but you can actually switch to your original audience options. But what it's going to do here, it's going to recommend that you don't do that. So, you know, to go with the times, I'm going to just keep it simple, but I'm going to show you how to use it anyway, because Facebook's actually got that good now that it'll actually pick the audience for you. So this is what it originally looked like. So you could pick, you know, male, female, the demographics, and what you would normally put in here. Say you were trying to sell, you know, solar leads or something like that, then we could put like solar consultant, solar energy. You wouldn't want to put solar consultant because you'd be trying to sell to the people who are going to steal your leads. So, but yeah, you get the idea of it. Here you can just press suggestions. Say we just pick this one here. And then what you could do here is use the suggestions tabs. This is quite good. So it's going to give you all things that are to do with them interests then. And this just gets better and better the more sort of, you know, interest you put into solar power energy. Press suggestions again, renewable energy, and it's going to give me all these options to target. And in terms of your interest, don't think too deep into it. You know, they can be very broad at first. At the end of the day, you're trying to just give Facebook as much data as you can, and you want to give it a large audience to work with. So see it here on the side, we can see reach and things like that, and estimated audience ads. So you want this to be, you know, more than 1 million at least. I would say 500 to 1 million in size, because smaller than that, you're not really giving Facebook much option, because Facebook's going to show that to a small group of people, see how they react. If they react well, it's going to start showing it to more people like that, and if they don't react well, then it's going to, you know, it's going to show your ad somewhere else, and just keep searching until it finds people that respond to that ad. So you want to give it a large audience size to work with. And then your placement, so this is where the ad is actually shown. So we go down here and we just press edit, and then automatically Facebook's going to decide where it shows your ad. But sometimes, you know, for example, if you have a younger demographic, then it's likely they're not going to be on Facebook too much, and they might just be on Instagram. So for me, for one of my businesses, I do untick some of these, and I actually just put it to Instagram only, but they do like you to keep it on this, and you're going to get the lowest cost per result with this. And also, you know, a lot of people are on Facebook and Instagram, so you can leave that just as it is. But if you wanted to switch it to manual placements, which says not recommended, then all you would do is just untick these boxes, and we're just going to target Instagram. And then all you need to do is press next. And then here you want to name the ad. So say this was, you know, creative one. And then you're going to select your pages here, so you can connect your Instagram account and put that there, but I'm not going to do it for the purpose of demonstration. And then here is where you would actually build your ad. So your primary text, this is what's written on the main ad. And to write this, you want to have a nice strong headline that calls out to your audience. It might be attention homeowners or something like this. And, you know, something that's going to grab the attention, or if you been, it could be something like looking for renewable energy sources. So because what they say in advertising is, you know, your headline represents, you know, around about 90% of what's there, because that's the thing that's going to initially stop people on the feed, get them to look at your ad. So you really focus on the headline first, and then go into your body copy, and I'll show you how to write that later in the video. But now I'm just going to show you the structure of a campaign, how to build it. So you put your text in here, and then your image. So I'm just going to delete this one out so I can show you how to do it, and you can either add an image or video. So I'm going to add an image for now. And I do always recommend that, you know, the best thing to do is to actually use a video. These work well, but always, as usual, test different things, test images, test videos, see what works. I'm just going to select this for an old client. Don't know why it's on the ad account, but just to give you an idea of what it looks like. And then it's going to automatically crop them down to size, but you can do this manually as well later on. So say, for example, you wanted to edit the placements, you could just click this drop down here and then click on which one you want to edit, and then you press edit, and then you can crop that to the right size. So it's always going to give you the recommended one, but you know, if it does cut stuff out, then you might not want to do that. And then your headline, so this is only shown on Facebook, so it's not showing up now because we only selected Facebook, but it'd be shown at the bottom here on Facebook. So it's not too important if you're only running ads on Instagram. And in terms of your call to action, the one that I found works best is learn more. You know, it's just nice and subtle, it's nice and passive, it's not too aggressive, you know, but this one, you know, it works for everything. Unless it was, you know, something really specific, like, you know, download a free brochure or something like that, you might want to do this one, but learn more in general is a safe bet to go with. And then so for this one, you will actually need to build a lead form. So all you need to do is press the lead form, you want to name it first. And then you can decide whether you want to go for more volume, higher intent, rich creatives. This one's going to give you, you can put loads of pictures in and things like that. In general, I would only go with higher intent, because the more volume one, it does tend to be very low quality leads, and I don't find that they convert very well at all. So I would always go with higher intent. It just gives the person a second option to confirm the details, because you don't just want people just auto-filling the details and you never hear back from them after that. And then you can put your logo here. You just want to explain what it's about, so you might say like, enter your details to get a free consultation, and then you can write a little paragraph about what it's about. And then this is where you collect the information. So you can just put your questions in here. You have your basic ones like demographics, phone numbers, and you can also add a custom question up here as well. And depending on the answer, you can actually qualify people as a lead or not. So you can see this one here, it says conditional. And you know, if oh, sorry, that's the wrong one. So short answer, and you know, we can put something like this, and let's just add another question. You get the point anyway. So yeah, that's a lead form. You just press next, and then at the end it's gonna ask you to fill all them details, and you can redirect them to the website if you want. But that's how you would do a leads campaign. So yeah, in terms of building the campaign, that's pretty much it, you know. And at the bottom, you want to have this selected as well. But I'm going to show you how to set up your Facebook pixel later. It's called something a little bit different now. It's called a data set. But you know, in terms of a campaign, that is pretty much it. And this is what I mean by 90% of Facebook is done off Facebook. So you build your campaign, but the most important thing is actually what's written on the ad, what the picture is, what the video is. So say for example, you wanted to test different videos and creatives. So you've got your campaign here, and what we're going to do, after you build it, we're going to select it, and then we're going to go to ad set, and it's already selected, and then we're going to go to ads. So say we wanted to test a different ad, a different version of this with a different picture or a video. All we would do then is press duplicate while we're in the ad section, and then we're going to press duplicate once, and then I'm just going to press close so you can see what it looks like. And then it's going to give me a different version. It's going to say copy next to it, so we can just go in and edit that, and we can just go in and add a different, we can add a video in or something like that. I don't think there's any videos on this account, so we'll just use a different picture just to give you an idea what it looks like. So we can now do a split test, because what Facebook's going to do when you select ad budget, so obviously at the beginning here you can select campaign budget at the bottom here. So this means that the whole campaign is going to decide which ad set it's going to go to. So you know, if you've got multiple things you're targeting, so say you've got multiple ad sets here, Facebook will decide which one to send it to, and then it will decide which ad to send it to out of these two. But we've got this unselected, so that means that the ad set is going to decide where the budget goes between the ads, if that makes sense. So then if we go to ads, you can now see the new version that we duplicated here, and that's going to allow us to split test now. So, you know, if we set this budget at, you know, it's set at £20 a day, Facebook's going to spend this £20 where it thinks it's going to get the lowest cost, you know, the lowest clicks, the cheapest purchases. I'm going to show you how to read the data as well to figure out if you know the ad's actually doing well or not. So as I showed you before, you know, what I do actually think is best in 2023 is just to leave it broad. So I wouldn't even, you know, in most cases put targeting. So when I showed you in here before, you can put interests in, like, you know, solar energy and things like that in the interest section. You can do that, but I would just leave it as it is in terms of, you know, what it's targeting, because Facebook knows better than you where to actually show these ads. However, you know, down the line, so once you spent, you know, £500 to £1,000 on the ad account, you can then begin to create custom audiences. So I'm going to show you how to do this now. So if you go to this three little, where it says all tools on the side, you're going to open that, and then you're going to go down to audiences. And then what you can do here, so say for example, you create a custom audience. So once you put your Facebook pixel on your website, it's a little bit of tracking code. I'm going to show you how to do that in a second. But you can create a custom audience. You can track, say 1,000 people have visited your website. You can then go to Facebook and say, I want you to create a custom audience out of people that have visited my website. And you can say all the website visitors in the last, you know, 30 days, 180 days. I would usually put this as 180 days just to keep it relevant. And then you want to name this something you're going to remember. So we're going to call this website visitors 180 days. You can do a little description as well as you want. And then once you've created a custom audience, you can then create a lookalike audience from that. So all you do to create a lookalike audience, and a lookalike is basically Facebook's going to look at this 1,000 people that visited your website, and they're going to go, right, I'm going to find you 1 to 10% of the UK or US population that are similar to these people. As you know, I wouldn't really ever use a custom audience on its own, as it's usually too small. 1,000 people is way too small to go with. So what you want to do is you want to select it like this, and then you're going to go create audience, and then go down to lookalike, and then you're going to create the source here. So the source can be your Facebook pixel, or they're called data sets now. And then we're just going to go with purchase for now. And then this is what I was explaining about. So if we type in United Kingdom here, you can then say to Facebook, I want you to find me the top 1% of people that are most like them 1,000 people that visit my website. Or you could go a little bit further, so these people are a little bit less like them 1,000 people, and then a little bit less like them people again, but there's also a bigger audience, and you can just play around with this and figure out what works well. So if you imagine the 1%, this is the highest quality audience, this is the most like the people that have visited your website, and as you get further out, they're obviously less like it, but you're also going to get access to a bigger audience. So what I would do, I would just test a few of these. Usually I find that 1 to 3 is around about the best. 1 can be very expensive sometimes, because obviously in Facebook ads, you're paying for better data, so 3 is actually quite good, quite cost effective, because it's not as targeted, but you're getting access to a larger data set, which Facebook likes these days. So yeah, in terms of your custom audiences, that's it. So you use this blue button here, so you go to the tools, go to audiences, and it's going to take you to here. You're going to create your custom audience, and then you're going to create a lookalike out of that audience. So now I'm going to show you how to set up your Facebook pixel, as it used to be called. They call it a data set now. So all you're going to do is go back to these 3 lines in the corner here. You're going to go down to Events Manager. It's usually in the top 6 here. And then all you would do, you're going to go to this green button here that says add data sources. You're going to press web. Obviously, if you're using a website, if you're using an app, then you would use these ones. Press connect, and then you're going to name it. So this might be whatever your website's called, you might call it. So say, for example, it was solar pixel, and you're going to press create. And then it's going to run you through these steps of creating that pixel. So I already have one, so I don't know if this is going to mess things up. But I don't yet. So there you go. It's going to ask you to put your website in, and then it's going to allow you to do it. It's going to give you some instructions. That's pretty straightforward on how to do that. I'm not going to do this because I've already got one set up. But yeah, that was how you set your pixel up. And then once you've got that set up, you can see it in your, you can see all the diagnostic things like that here. And it's going to allow you to track data from your website a lot better, because this is an absolutely vital part of it. Because what that does, that creates a feedback loop then. So you've got your ads manager, imagine your ads from Facebook. It's sort of guessing where your audience is, it's showing them, but once it has somewhere to correspond to on your website, so it's tracking people on your website, it can then feed that back to the ad account, and the ads are just going to get so much better, and it's going to have so much better data to work with. So definitely set up your Facebook pixel when you come to it. So now, say you've got your first campaign going, it's running, you've got your pixel set up. So how do you know if it's working or not? So if unless you're running purchases, obviously you're going to be able to see your purchases here, and on the end of the so you've got your metrics here. And if you were tracking purchases, then under results it would say £30 per purchase, whatever it is. But how do you actually read the data? So I'm going to show you how to set up your columns, so you can know exactly where the problem is, and you'll know exactly how to read them. So all you do to set up your columns, so this is the data thing here, you're going to press this here, you're going to press customize columns, and then what I like to do is just X all of these off. And then first of all, you're going to go with amount spent. So that's just going to keep track of how much you spent. So you don't wake up one day and you've had £300 look out your account and you're like, what happened there? And then your next one, you go with CPM. So this basically is, the cost of showing it to 1,000 people. And then you're going to go for your reach. So this is just showing you how many people it's got in front of. And then I'm going to go with your click-through rate. And then you're going to go, so this is a blended rate. So this is a mixture of, they can click anywhere on the ad at all, and it would count as a click. Whereas your link click-through rate is the amount of people that click on the ad and then click through to the link. So this just gives us a more accurate view. And then you're going to go with results. And then you're going to go with clicks. and impressions as well. And I've done that in the wrong order, so I'm going to put this first. You're going to do clicks first, and then impressions. And then once you've got that set up, all you can do then is just press save, and you can name it to whatever you want. So just call this Fawn. And then what this is going to allow us to do is be able to read the data a lot better. So if my CPM is too high, and it does depend on what niche you're in, but say for example it was e-commerce, then you would be expecting this to be sort of £5 to anywhere to £20. And if this is off, and you'll know what yours is once you've run ads for a little bit and done a bit of research, but if this is too high, then it means that you're targeting the wrong people. And what you can do then is just try some new audiences out, try some new interests out, maybe try some lookalikes out if you're doing it broad, and try and fix that issue. Then your impressions, if it's not getting shown to people, then this might be because you're not winning the audience. So at the end of the day, Facebook is a bidding system. It's going to show the ads to whoever has the best ads and the biggest budget. So you might not be giving it enough to spend on if it's not impressing on many people. And then your reach, so this is very similar. This is how many people it's got in front of. This gives you an idea. And then your clicks, are people actually clicking on it? Has it got a decent amount of clicks for what you spent? And then your click-through rate, so people actually clicking through on this. And what the click-through rate would show me is, how good the ad copy is, what's written on the ad. Is it making people click? Is it making people stop in their feed? Is it making people want to read it? And then your link click-through rate, so this would tell me whether people are actually reading the entire thing, or they're getting lost, or they're so this would give an indication the headline might be good, so it's stopping people, they're clicking on it in some way. But then the link click-through rate would tell me if they're actually reading it or not, and they're actually resonating with the message that you're putting out there. And then your results, this might be, if you're doing purchases, then this would show here is, say you were getting purchases for £34, and your cost of stock was 30, so you'd be at a loss there. So this is going to help you see if you're profitable or not. So yeah, in terms of reading your metrics, that's pretty much it. So next, let's talk about scaling. So now at this point, you've got your ads up and running, you've got your pixels set up, and you've read your metrics, and they're looking good, you're profitable, you're getting purchases very profitably. So now you want to scale. So how would you do this? So in the past, people used to go into a campaign, select it like this, they'd go to the ad set, and they would just duplicate this a few times. So you'd say this is at £20 a day, and you would now have 3 of them, so now it'd be at £60 a day. But I don't feel like this is the best way to do it anymore, because this creates audience fragmentation. So essentially you're bidding against yourself, so you're driving the cost up for yourself. So the best way to actually begin to scale is by increasing it by 5 to 10% every 2 days or so. And that is genuinely the best way to scale. And it sounds pretty simple, and there's not much to touch on there, but this is the only way I'd actually scale now. And all you would do there, so we're just going to set this because I forgot to put budget in. But all you would do is press edit and say you're on 20 and it's going well, add another 5 on, and then the next day you might add another 5 on, another 5 on, and you want to do this gradually, because I've been on a lot of calls with Facebook experts, and as I said, I spent a lot of my own money on this, and I feel like the best way to do it is so Facebook don't just spend all your money at once, because they love spending your money, is to do this gradually. I'm trying to aim for around about 10% every 2 days. So next, let's actually talk about writing and creating the ads. So luckily for you guys, in 2023 going into 2024, it's nearly December now. Luckily, back in the day, you had to write your own ads. You had to read a lot of books on how to write ad copy. But you can now just use AI to do it, and it's actually better than probably trying to learn it on your own. So we're just going to ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you how to write amazing ad copy. So what you're going to do, this is a prompt I like to use for doing ad copy. So I'm going to say, I want you to act as an expert copywriter, and then what you're going to do to it, give it your goal. So it might be, say for example, my niche is to generate solar leads. I want you to craft me a piece of Facebook ad copy that will play on the pain points of my potential audience. The goal of them giving me their details and becoming a lead. And then what this is going to do for you, the thing with AI is you need to know how to ask the right questions. So, I've banged on this quite a bit. So that's a good headline already. So this calls out to a pain point. The main reason why a lot of people would do solo is because, their bills are too high, they want to reduce it, and they want to save money. and it's going to create this entire ad copy for you. And if you don't like this at first, it's not going to get it right straight away. The thing with AI is you need to fine tune it and keep making it better, make it how you want it. I would even say to this, make this, this is very bullet pointy to me. I do like to write conversational ad copy, so I'm going to say, write this, make it more conversational. And this is literally the biggest cheat code. This just didn't exist when I was first learning Facebook ads. And it's going to write you amazing copy. And a lot of the time you're going to have to go in and edit a few words and things like that so it doesn't sound too robot-y. But it's that good these days. It rarely sounds like a robot, and it's pretty good, and it's almost ready to go a lot of the time. So that's your cheat code for writing amazing ad copy. I could sit here and tell you all the books I've read and go and read this book, but at the end of the day, you want to get results fast and you're a beginner. This is the best way to do it, and use technology to your advantage when it exists. So in terms of creatives then, so what do you actually use for pictures and stuff like that? The best advice I can give you with this, because I can't really show you an example because it depends on what industry you're in, but really what you want to do is something that's got a strong hook to it, something that's going to grab the audience straight away, not these cheesy sort of ads that just have text written all over them and offer straight away. The aim of it is, it's not to sell the product as soon as they see the ad, it's to sell the click to the lead or to the website or something like that. So, initially you just want something that's going to look very natural in the feed, look very native to the platform, doesn't stand out and look like an ad, because people are so used to advertisements these days that they've created this sort of ad blindness towards them. So in terms of your creative, just make sure it's interesting, make sure it calls out to the pain points of the audience, and just whatever you do, don't make it look like an ad. So in terms of Facebook ads for beginners, that's pretty much it. So as I said to you at the beginning of the video, it's more about what's written on the ad, what picture you use or video. That is the most important thing these days, because Facebook's got that good that they want to choose the targeting for you now. They want to choose where to show it, and honestly, they know better than you. So back in the old days, you'd be able to pick your targeting more, your placements, and you get really specific with it. But Facebook's that good now, it's best to give them control. So, the way to actually call out to your audience is with the headline or with the picture that's going to attract their attention, not the targeting, because Facebook's going to be able to show it from the right people anyway. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you found some value in it, and if you did, drop a subscribe, and I shall see you in the next video.